What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today, I'm going to be telling you the worst picks in all of fantasy football. The guys to let your idiot league mates take instead of you. These are guys that in over 200 plus mock drafts and some actual leagues I have not taken yet. Okay, these picks, these guys are just going way too high, and I'm going to be explaining why today. And we're going to start off with the worst pick in all of fantasy football, and that is J.K. Dobbins. Okay, I don't get how J.K. Dobbins is currently going as the RB20. Even at the RB20, RB21 here, it does not make sense at all. Okay, J.K. Dobbins has never finished above the RB23 in his whole career, and he did that 3 years ago. And yes, I know he got hurt, but that's a lot of time he lost to develop, okay? He has never been productive, not once. So there is so much risk when you're taking him here. So you say, oh, he must have a crazy upside. Well, no, okay? Lamar is going to take a lot of rushing yards, a lot of touchdowns. So right away, he's got a capped upside. It's going to be a bit of a committee. Best case, he wins the committee and is kind of the leader. All these guys are going to get touches, okay? He's not going to have 250 touches. They use everyone. Okay, so now his ceiling is low and his floor is low. This is why I don't draft him. Todd Monken comes in, okay? This is going to be much more pass-heavy team. They're going to let Lamar cook a little bit more, okay? They have much better coordinator for pass game, okay? He's going to be efficient because of Lamar, but he has a low floor and a low ceiling, okay? Realistically, this year, he probably gets 700 yards, maybe 4 touchdowns on 6 yards a carry, and everyone says, oh, I know he didn't do well, but it was still a good fantasy pick. No, okay? It was just a bad idea. The other thing is he has no receiving upside, okay? He has no upside. He's a non-receiving running back in a committee with a running QB that's going to take away all the carries in a more pass-heavy system, and he's never been good. Like, it makes no sense to me why he's going anywhere near where he's going. I have him ranked 82nd right now. I have him as the 29th running back. I mean, come on. Next up, we're going to move on to DeAndre Swift. As an Eagles fan, it does hurt me to put him here, but he's just being a little overdrafted. And to be honest, recently, it has become a bit more realistic. Okay, now he's going more like the RB29, the RB30. But for a while, he was going way too high, and you'll see in a lot of leagues, he still goes around pick 70, which is just crazy. I mean, he's in a committee with Rashad Penny and Kenneth Gainwell. You know, I know how the Eagles work, and last year was a bit of an exception because Miles Sanders was really starting to play well, and we didn't really have too many other guys that could rotate in there. The Eagles want to use a committee. We know what Sirianni wants to do. He wants to keep those running backs fresh and have them rotating in and out, right? DeAndre Swift has never been a red zone back. Last year, we saw exactly what his role was in Detroit. Okay, he's in between the 20s guy who's going to make some explosive plays, but cannot get short yardage gains. Okay, it's all or nothing with him. And this year, he might even get used less because the Eagles have 2 capable guys that can rotate in. I think it's going to be something like 40, 40, 20. Kenneth Gainwell getting 20. Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift getting 40. And he just doesn't have that much upside. He's in a committee. Why are we taking him this high? You know, you don't take committee backs. And you can say, oh, the Eagles are a great run game. They're a great committee run game. You know, a lot of these teams with mobile quarterbacks and a good room of running backs, their running backs get drafted too high because the room of running backs do well while no one running back does well. He's also struggled with injury. He's missed 3+ games all seasons of his career. Okay, that's just going to be a bit more risk that you have to worry about. And he's just not that good. Like, DeAndre Swift, he's good in his role, but he has, his best case scenario is he gets 50% of the touches and he gets, no touchdowns, but maybe he goes for 800 yards and gets, a ton of receptions and is, the RB15. I don't like his ceiling. I don't like his floor. A bit overdrafted. It's not, a horrible pick, and sometimes you will get him at fine values, but for the most part, I'm just not really going for him. Next up, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is a rookie, right? And Jahmyr Gibbs, the real problem is, we saw his role last year with DeAndre Swift. The Lions have a goal line red zone back, and they have a in between the 20s back, right? And last year, that was the same thing. And Jahmyr Gibbs, he's not Bijan, okay? He's not some generational prospect that's going to go in and take all of the touches and just absolutely dominate. No, he's good, but he's not an amazing player. He's got a limited role, as I've been saying, right? He's going to share touches with Montgomery. It's going to be probably pretty close to a 50-50 split. And I got to be honest, Montgomery and Gibbs are not. Gibbs has a bit higher ceiling, but, like, they're not too far apart, honestly. Montgomery's going to be the goal line and short yardage back, and he's going to steal many touchdowns from Gibbs, similar to how Jamal Williams stole touchdowns from DeAndre Swift. You know, it's the same team. It's the same offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, very good, you know, and they know how they want to play this. Gibbs is just being a bit drafted too high. It's not like it's not like Dobbins, where it's like, you can't take this guy. No, he's just going 5 or 10 picks too early for me in most drafts. You know, I'd have to be in a really specific spot in the draft, and he would have to go later than he usually goes for me to take him. Next up, one of my hotter takes here, because everyone loves Joe Burrow, is having Joe Burrow as my QB7, okay? Joe Burrow is going into the year hurt, okay? Like, he has a calf strain. He might not play week 1, and even if he does, those first few weeks of the year, he's going to be a little bit slower. He's going to have a slow start to the season, and you never like to see that. He should not be going near Lamar. Lamar's ceiling is easily the QB1 and being unbelievable. Joe Burrow's ceiling is like, you know, QB3 or 2 and like 23, 24 points a game. Lamar could go crazy, and all the other elite quarterbacks could go insane, but Burrow doesn't have that kind of ceiling. He has a decent ceiling, similar to Herbert and Justin Fields. Those three should be going around the same spot. Honestly, if you want to take him at QB5, I don't think that's horrible. I think the problem is when he's going near Lamar. It should be Hurts and Allen and Mahomes in any order at the top, then Lamar, then Burrow, Herbert, and Fields. It should not be Burrow and Lamar should not be going close to each other. He has no rushing upside. He actually got some rushing touchdowns which kind of inflated his stats last year. He's not going to get those this year. He's not a runner, and he's just going in the wrong tier for the most part. But he's not. Yeah, he's just being overdrafted. I don't think he's going to be bad, right? Next up, we got Jonathan Taylor. This is certainly one of the most interesting players in fantasy, and Jonathan Taylor, okay, he's injured right now. He's on the PUP. He is guaranteed to miss the first 4 games of the season at least. That's how it works, right? He still isn't cleared where he's going to play. Okay, he might not even play this year, and he wasn't good last year when he played. Like, there's just so much risk, and sure, there's upside, of course. I mean, we saw in 2021 he was great, but do we really expect him to have that same role with that same volume? No, we don't. And there's so much risk, and now that he hasn't signed, we're getting this close, he hasn't been traded, the Colts are now trying to repair stuff with him. It's just bad, okay? Stay away from Jonathan Taylor. It's just not worth it. Next up, it's going to be Austin Ekeler. This is the one player where it's like, okay, he's going to be good, obviously. He's going in the top 10. He's going in the first round every single draft for a reason. I just think he should be going late first round instead of early first round, okay? He will be good. That's not the debate we're having here. I would just rather have an elite receiver like Tyreek, like Jahmyr, like possibly and Kelsey as well over Ekeler. It's just the guys I'd rather have over him. He's going to have a smaller role. Mike Williams and Keenan are healthy. Quentin Johnston's back. He's here now after being drafted in the first round. Josh Palmer's still here, okay? This is going to be, they bring Kellen Moore, and this is going to be more of a quote-unquote air raid kind of team. They're going to be throwing the ball deep a lot. Kellen Moore is going to let Herbert cook with these weapons. That means way less receiving work for Ekeler, way less rushing attempts. And I think there is certainly a world where he finishes with 15 all-purpose touchdowns and is once again really good. But more realistically, I just don't think he's going to be that good this year, okay? I think he's going to get 1,000 combined yards, maybe 8 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, and if you drafted him at 4, you're just going to be thinking, why didn't I take Kelsey or one of the elite receivers? He's also 28 years old, so there's some risk here. If he was 20, he's older. I think he's going to have a smaller role this year. I just don't really like him that much. Next up, we got Rhamondre Stevenson. People are kind of drafting him as if they didn't sign Zeke, and we know the Patriots like to use a sort of committee. Maybe it's not going to be a full committee. Of course, Rhamondre is going to get most of the work, but Zeke is a great pass protector on third downs, okay? Zeke is great on the goal line and can be pretty good in the red zone, okay? As much hate as he gets, he has his role and he plays it pretty well, and Zeke is going to be stealing touchdowns from him. The only reason why Rhamondre was good for a lot of last year was because Damian Harris got hurt, and even so, he started to be a little bit less valuable at the end of the year. I mean, I traded for him. It didn't end up being that valuable. You know, he's just got a low ceiling relative to his ADP. I don't really want him. Next up, we got Deebo Samuel. This is one of the players that I really am not even remotely interested in this year. He's one of the worst picks in fantasy. Okay, so much competition for touches. He's not the best, like, running back. He's not the best with the ball in his hands. That's CMC. He's not the best receiver. That's Ayuk. And then there's Kittle, who's just casually the second best tight end in the league, maybe the third best receiving tight end in the league, right? Like, Deebo is just, defenses figured him out, okay? He was a lot less efficient last year. It was not just less opportunities, which he did have way less opportunities, okay? He's had some injury stuff. He had one good year, okay? He was wide receiver 40 last year. Like, sure, there is some upside. Maybe he gets a little more healthy and kind of returns to form, but, like, I'm not spending a early fourth kind of round pick on him. Like, I'm good. I'm not spending a fourth round or even fifth round pick on him. He's just a bit overrated right now in fantasy. Next up, we got T. Higgins. T. Higgins, I don't hate him, honestly. I just think, I just never draft him. I never draft him. He's going 5 or 10 picks too high, and he's going very early. I don't think he's going to suck, but he's the wide receiver 18 is the highest he's ever finished. And last year, I know some games he didn't play very much of the game, but he did appear in all 17 games, okay? He was there. Jahmyr missed a lot of time, and he couldn't capitalize and really show that he was an elite receiver or that he could be an elite fantasy receiver. He's just been this consistent, decent guy. Wide receiver 28, wide receiver 24, wide receiver 18, okay? I don't really know. He's not exceptional receiver. He's not that young. You don't expect some huge jump this year. He's the clear number 2 on the team. They have Boyd, Mixon. They have, I just think he's got a very capped ceiling, and, his floor, it's not like he's never shown that he can be at the level he's being drafted right now. So, I just think he's a little bit overdrafted. Not a horrible pick, but not a good one, for sure. And the second worst pick in fantasy football this year is DJ Moore. I saved the second worst for last. Not a very common expression, but I don't know why he's being taken around pick 50 and why the expert consensus rank is pick 40. That doesn't make any sense to me. This was the worst passing offense of the last 10 years, and it will be the worst passing offense this year. Fields ranked like 36th at quarterback last year. There are not 36 teams. There were multiple backups better than him at passing the ball. He's a great rusher, but that does not help DJ Moore, okay? DJ Moore is not some special talent on the team. He's already 26. You're not expecting some big jump here. His best finish was wide receiver 16, and that was a while ago, in 5 years. And he's had bad quarterback play, but it's not like he's getting good quarterback play here. He has just been, wide receiver 20 to 25. And I don't see why that's any different this year. That's why I have him at wide receiver 32. I do not believe in DJ Moore. I think he might even be worse this year. This is a very low-volume passing team. And guess what? It's not like he's going to get 50% of the targets. No, there are other guys that can legit play. Darnell Mooney is a very underrated, decent player. Cole Kmet is a good tight end. Chase Claypool, Velus Jones, they have a lot of guys that can rotate in and just steal away these targets from DJ Moore. You have to bet on Fields taking a massive leap. Okay, Fields is not Hurts. Fields is not Josh Allen. And I'll tell you, DJ Moore is not A.J. Brown and is not Stephon Diggs. So I will just be staying far away from DJ Moore this year. I don't know why he is going that high. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Biggest takeaways is avoid J.K. Dobbins and DJ Moore. And the other guys, more of my opinion, you got to avoid DJ Moore and J.K. Dobbins. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe for more. Like this video to promote it to more people. And comment down below your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys are saying. I'll read and reply to every single comment. See you guys in the next one. Bye.